Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. So today, this video is going to be about a bit of a controversial subject, how new players should start, what skills they should take, what builds they should go, how to get up and running. Uh, Lately, I've been in Twitch chat and just seeing a plethora of new players come in and go, what do I do? What do I build? What skills do I take? Can I be a tamer? Can I do this? Can I? Yes to everything. You can do whatever you want in UO. All the skills, it's all customizable. Play what you like. When that happens, everyone else chimes in with their own answer, their own opinion. Play a Dexter, play a peaceadin, play a Necro summoner, play a harvester, play a tamer. There really is no wrong answer. It really comes down to you. You should know what you want to play or what play style. I'm going to give you a couple options here and my personal preference when it comes to a brand new character trying to get to endgame as fast as possible. There's a few different routes you could go, but they all start with gold. Either that or other player support, where someone's willing to give you some handouts in the forms of codexes, full spell books, tomes. These are all things you need to make your character effective in the end game. Without it, you're just not going to be that strong. You're not going to be able to compete and keep up with everyone with 20, 30 links. So, first things first, the way to make gold in this game is to either be a harvester as a brand new player in the form of a miner or a lumberjack. I recommend lumberjack more than miner. Less mining nodes available, more people doing it because ore costs much more to purchase from players. And there are far more trees, and it's a little bit safer to be a lumberjack. You can do it closer to town. The typical lumberjack build is just a pure dexer. Anatomy, tactics, swords, healing, parry, lumberjacking, arms lore, magic resist. Play around with it, but make sure you have lumberjacking. Make sure you have healing, tactics, swordsmanship, and anatomy at the very least. With that build setup, you'll be able to fight monsters, and not only monsters, you'll be able to fight back against player killers and generally just your average red. Most reds that hunt harvesters aren't looking for a fight. They're looking to get easy loot, take all your hard work, run away with it, keep it for themselves, sell it, make gold off your effort. But if you go this lumberjack build that I just talked about a second ago, you'll be able to fight back. Now, the goal is to collect 5,000 regular logs. Make a lumberjack, go into the newbie dungeon, train your skills up to 80, go swat at a training dummy for a while until you get your skills to where you want them to be, and go out and start harvesting. The easiest way to do that, get the hatchet, double click the hatchet, target the tree, record those actions in Razor as a macro, and then set it to a hotkey, run up to trees and hit your hotkey. Just keep doing that. Get 5,000 boards, put it into a commodity, sell it to a player. You can go to the Outlands Discord, the general buy and sell channel, and search for basic log or board commodities. People are always buying them, people are always selling them. It's an easy 60 to 80K. Do that twice in one day, you've got yourself a full spell book and a summoner's tome or 2 codex. It really comes down to what you want to build at this point. So when I'm in Twitch chat, people are saying, make a peace dexer, right? No issues with it. Peace Dexter is great. It's a wonderful start. It's just incredibly slow and boring. I started as a pure Dexer. It was a slog. It took me weeks to be able to get up and running before the mob change to even be able to go down into level 3 dungeons and start farming with the big boys, if you will. Nothing wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, like I did, I was crazy. I still am crazy. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed the progression, the strength increase of my character, even though it was very slow. It will work. It's just going to take you a lot of time. My personal recommendation, though, is to not go Dexter at all. If you're okay with playing a mage, I highly recommend going this build. Everyone goes, well, why would you do that? You need a full spell book. You need a necromancer book. You need a summoner's tome. You're right. But a Dexter needs their codexes. It needs the chivalry book. You get beat in the face as a Dexter. With this build, you do not. You can go down within 2 to 4 days, depending on how much you play, and go farm endgame mobs. 2 to 4 days. As a Dexter, that should take you 2 to 4 weeks. Big difference. And it all comes down to you again. Do you want to get up and running as soon as possible? I recommend the Death Herding Necro. All credit for this build, as far as I'm aware, goes to Lord Fack of NWO. About 6 months ago, he was just ranting and raving about his Necro. And I was like, it's a Necro. I don't care about Necros at all. Who wants to play a Necro? Seems so boring. I played Tamer back in the day in UO. I'm tired of that. Well, I got on Discord with him and he streamed his gameplay. Not only did he solo the Time Weaver, he was using mummies. And these mummies were killing everything. They were just reflecting all the damage that was being dealt to them. Now, that means you could farm wherever you want. The harder the mob, the more damage your mummies do. They die a little faster, but the great thing is it's not a tamed pet. Just summon another one. It's fine. All right, so Lord Fack's Death Necro started with, I believe, poison and taste ID. I don't even know if he had hurting. He may not have needed it because the reflect was just so strong already from Spirit Speak and Necromancy. Now, what makes this build even stronger is the ability to add links. Don't worry about it. I know I've got 22 links here. It's follower damage, necromancy skill. You'll get here eventually, but you do not need this. You can go down without a chain, without death aspect, and do just fine in SSC2. You're not going to be stealing kills from anybody, but you're way less likely to have them stolen from you as this build. All right, so let's go over the requirements here, at least skills, Summoner's Tome, Necromancy Book, Necromancy Spells, and I'm going to go down into SSC2 and show you what I mean. So you're going to want a Necromancy Book, a Summoner's Tome, and depending on the skills you take, if you take Eval, I'm going to go and say, get a Wizard's Grimoire. I mean, most people should get a Wizard's Grimoire anyways. You should be able to use it even with Eval, without Eval in this build. But if you were to go Poison and Taste ID, you would replace Evaluating Intelligence and Wrestling with those two skills and go for a Poisoner's Codex. You're going to get a lot out of that too. There's a lot of value within that. Without even going Poison Aspect, my poisons when I played Fax build were ticking for 80, 90 damage a tick. And you could spread that using Airborne and AoE. And this build, what I'm running right now, specializes in AoE. It does really good single target damage. It's not the best, but it specializes in AoE. So Eval's going to increase your spell damage. Wrestling's going to get you some mana back if you get attacked by PKs. If any of them are mage archers or any form of dexers, wrestling's going to help you to avoid some of those hits. Spirit Speak increases the damage and strength overall of all of your summons. Necromancy provides you with 5 new abilities in the form of all of these right here. It also increases your summons effectiveness across the board. Hurting also just buffs all of your summons. What you'll need for hurting is a crook. It's as simple as double clicking the crook as long as you have pets out and then targeting the mob, and they will focus aggression on it, like saying all kill, increase the damage by a certain percent based on your hurting. Then obviously Magery and Meditation, be able to cast spells, get your mana back. So when we're looking at our summons here, we're going to want to focus on Earth Elementals, Lich, and Demons. Summon creatures fine, Blade Spirit's fine, air, water, energy vortex, they're all fine. I just find they're not as efficient as the rest. Earth Elemental has the reflect. Water Elemental does not. Water Elemental is going to be more tanky against casters. But again, we're looking for the reflect damage from our tank pets. It's an added boost of DPS. It's very passive. I don't know if you guys have ever played idle games on your phone. I don't really do it myself. I've tried it. But essentially what you're doing here is using 2 tank pets who will last a long time to reflect damage, deal damage for you while you sit there and watch Netflix. So again, starter build, Death Necro. So let's take a look at the summons here. I highly recommend starting with Earth Elementals and Fire Elementals. The rest are inconsequential. Go ahead and level them up as you see fit. You want to explore, try something different, go for it. They're great. All the other summons, they're effective. I especially love Demons. I think they're really fun as you get them up higher and take advantage of the 12 point here, which brings up their bonus damage to 75% the longer they're alive. All right, so getting back to it, Earth Elemental, this is the allocation you want. And what I mean by that is as you are a new summoner and you have your Summoner's Tome, you'll find that you'll have 0 points in all of your summons. Well, as you use your summons and kill monsters, they give you points based on the amount of gold that dropped. You allocate those points into these specific ones, you will increase their damage output via reflect and how tanky they are. I highly recommend going this exact setup. Feel free to add dismissive. I don't ever really dismiss my summons. I know some people do to get the mana back. don't ever find it's necessary. If you want to take it to that next level, go for it. I just don't find it necessary. Fire Elemental, this is the setup I would go with as well. If you're going to play double Mummy, you'll get full 100% experience per kill into the Earth Elementals. If you want to play double Lich or double Fire Elemental, same thing. If you play with one of each, one Lich, one Mummy, you're splitting the experience gain 50% to each. It's really however you want to go about it. Any build, really, any summon type, it's all viable. Play how you like. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Again, so this build, it focuses on AoE damage. That's mainly where it shines down in SSE2. Level 4 dungeons, which will be coming out, are going to be fantastic for this build. That's if we ever get them. Oh, and Luthis, if you guys are watching, listening, soon, please. We've all been waiting. In fact, you guys teased it before I even started on this server back in 2021. Hoping for it soon now that factions are done. So, necromancy abilities, real quick. To summon the undead versions of your summons, Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental, into Mummy and Lich, you're going to use Vengeful Spirit. Hit that ability first, summon your pets, good to go. As soon as you engage with mobs, you're going to want to use the Blood Oath ability here. I keep that on auto renew, hitting the check mark here. And by the way, to open this up just really quick, you're going to want to type bracket. I believe it's necromancy bar. And it will pull that up for you, this bar right here, as long as you have the necromancy book. The rest of the abilities, Vampiric Embrace, the bat symbol here is good to heal your pets. The rest of them, though, it's good stuff. Use it, learn them, play with them. But for the summoner itself, not crucial, just very helpful. Pain Spike, things of that nature. I'll show you when I get down to SSE, though. All right, so before I go into these dungeons, I always like to have Magic Reflect up. I'm going to take a feast from the guild here. I don't normally like taking things from the guild shelf, but I'll bring one back later. So I have Magic Reflect up now. I'll pull up an Earth Elemental sometimes too. Honestly, I feel safe with one. Every now and then you will get clapped even with one Earth Elemental. Just luck of the draw, RNG. But what you're going to want to say is, I'll follow me, I'll guard me, I'll follow me again. This way it's going to stick on you. And any mob that you run by, as long as it has line of sight of your summon, it will aggro onto your summon and not you. Again, if it gets stuck though, and the monster doesn't have line of sight of your elemental, your summon, it will attack you instead. So if you're going, why is it attacking me? Well, it could be an LOS issue. Just make sure you're standing in the appropriate location. So we're going to head on down to level 2. And you should be able to do what I'm going to do here in a few minutes within 3 or 4 days of playing your Death Necromancer. You don't need the aspect. You don't need the chain. You need the Summoner's Tome, the Necro book, your skills leveled up, and maybe, leech off some people for your Summoner's Tome. And that's why I'm saying 3 to 4 days, to give yourself some time to build up that Summoner's Tome. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Earth Elemental, hit Vengeful Spirit, summon a couple mummies, and get going. So again, these ancient mummies here, being a necromancy pet. Why is he orange? Are we warring somebody? Not in factions, am I? No? Okay, weird. Not going to mess with it for the sake of the video right now. But they lose health. Ooh, Paragon, what do you know? All right, so I'm going to use my crook. I have a macro for it. Target the footman with my mummies. Currently, there's a priest hitting it. Mummies reflect only within one tile. All right, so this guy wants to compete for the kill. I don't blame him. I'm going to go ahead and work on it myself, though. Don't really appreciate people who steal kills, but I get it. It's a Paragon. This guy probably really wants it, just like I do. It would be better if I had other units, maybe like Lich right now for single target damage. But as you can see, plenty of damage. Really doesn't take much. I need to make sure I don't get this stolen. Go ahead and put the mummies on the priest here, being that the not good. Being that the stone familiar is currently on the mummies, I'm not worried about it. It's going to reflect every time it hits my 2 mummies. It slams earth, you see 219, 219. That's just pure reflect damage, and then you have melees. So yeah, You're wondering why mummies do so much damage? It's reflect. It's because these mobs do so much damage. You could take this same setup down into a level 1 dungeon and not get anywhere near the same results. Level 2, level 3s, depending on the dungeon, you may not see anything like this. So this is why I recommend playing a Death Necro in high damage endgame content. This is why it's so good. The reflect does the damage for you. So getting back into it, I said earlier, you don't need death aspect. You don't need a chain. You don't. But the hell, death aspect is cheap. I think it's what, 4K a core, 5K. I'm honestly not certain. But compared to stuff like lyric, just 20K a piece, if not 13, 14 now. I'm not really sure what it is. Or command, air. Those are all in the high teens, low 20s. I mean, sometimes even 30 or 40K per. Um, Death, very cheap, very strong. It increases your effective necromancy. And like I was saying earlier, your necromancy increases the strength of your summons. All right, this is a really, really annoying mob for people. I really like it though. As you can see, it's already lost a third of its health. Over half now, all because of the reflect. All those numbers for the most part are reflect numbers. So once that's dead, I'm going to try and grab another mob here. I'm going to put him on the Spectral Knight. He also does a significant amount of AoE. There we lost our first mummy. I'm going to summon another one. Stick it on it. I didn't get credit on that. I didn't have both mummies. I did not pain spike it. Normally though, if I'm focusing on it, I wouldn't have lost that kill. So I haven't found a section where a lot of mobs are alive yet, so I can't really take advantage and show you the AoE portion of it, but I will explain it to you and just show you how you can do it if you'd like. So these hallways here, these little corridors, tend to spawn a lot of units. I think up to 7 or 8 of them. So you group them all up using the mummies. I will have my mummies follow me, not guard me at the time, follow me through a circle here. And as soon as I see the bishop or pontiff or anything that can AoE aggro me, I hit all guard me. They get to it. They collect on the bishop. All the dexter or melee units start to kind of gather up there. I'll hit my keybinds for my necromancy stuff. Gas chain lightning. Mummies are reflecting. Chain lightning hits everything, diseases it. Pretty easy. You can kill 6 to 8 mobs this way. Relatively easy as a new player. And that's pretty much it for Death Necro, guys. Again, just to recap, everyone needs gold to start. Don't need it, but just know that you're asking or telling yourself you're okay with playing for 3 to 4 weeks of slow, boring content to get to endgame. If you want to get to endgame as fast as possible, make a scavenger, loot all these corpses with forensics, skin them, or make a lumberjack, collect logs, turn them into boards, get on the Outlands Discord, sell them at 5,000 at a time. You can put those 5,000 logs into a commodity deed. In that commodity deed, then just trade window weighs next to nothing. You make 60 to 70K per commodity. I'd say maybe farm up 10,000 so you can get a good 120K. Get your Summoner's Tome, get your full spell book, get your Necromancy book, go start, get ready to farm, train up those summons, get used to the mechanics of Necromancy, and within 3 or 4 days, you should be down here with me farming exactly like I am. I think it's the fastest path to endgame. Again, all credit to this build goes to Lord Fack. Maybe someone taught him. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, he came up with it, and it's very customizable. Again, those 2 talents, whether it's poison and taste, wrestle and eval, discord and peace, or discord and music, which would be ridiculous, honestly. I think the pets would be hitting so much harder that way. Play how you like. All right, guys, if you have any questions about the build, if you want to get some farming in with me, questions about the game, aspects, chain, anything at all, feel free to hit me up on Discord, DM me. I'm a Straw Hat on Discord. You can leave a comment on this video in the comment section. I'll be happy to get back to you there as well. And one last thing before I go, here's what you should aim for your chain. 10 of each of these up to golds. It's not necessary. Again, that's why I'm running bronze. It really doesn't matter. This is just too strong as it is. And then again, one more time for the Summoner's Tome for the Lich, which is the Fire Elemental. And then for the Earth Elemental, which is the Mummy. and then for the skills. All right, guys, till the next video, you have a good one.